Hey, how you doing? This is JJ with Deluxe Vehicle Detailing Paint Correction here in the home shop in beautiful Bel Air Bluffs. This is the second phase of this restoration detail on this 2010 Corvette C6, and it is ready for polish and ceramic coating using Dallas Paint Correction Flashback, which is a 3-year ceramic titanium coating. So I'm going to take y'all through the process, show you what I've done a little bit, and what I'm about to do. So I'm just getting started here on the Corvette. Yesterday in the afternoon, evening, in beautiful shade in my driveway, I used Sud Factory Dissolve paint and also Underdog WSP, that is water spot remover, and also Purple Prep. So I did a very aggressive strip wash with a Purple Power boat and vehicle soap. I added a little APC. I washed this thing down. Then I used the Superior Purple Prep, and I wasn't sure just how much iron fallout decontamination I needed to do on this, but I wanted to give it, its highest, best quality on the prep, which is always the most important part of any polishing and ceramic coating job. And my driveway gutter system in front of the road, between my driveway and the road, was just purple. And that's what color it turns when it is dissolving, particles from people's brakes ahead of you, especially in the rain, comes all up, right? We all know that. I then used the clay bars. I had 2 synthetic clay mitt clay bars, and I picked up a lot of decontamination, especially on the hood and on the top, because this car is parked under a tree and it had just all kinds of decontaminating to do. I then used the Underdog WSP. This is my new favorite water spot remover, not on glass, but on the paint. For the glass, I've had excellent results from the Sud Factory, and I did all the glass. This is from Hawaii. They do make a different version, I believe, just for glass, but I've actually had awesome results, and I just buy the one product instead of buying their bundles, and they hit you up on Facebook and social media a lot. So anyway, I'm going to take you in here. Where did the paint correction light go? So she's got a few issues. That is one big bird poop etching. I am not really, I'm going to address that one spot, because if it was my car right in the middle of the hood, centerpiece, I'm just going to do a quick wet sanding. I've got some wet sanding steps that up just so that I can take care of this a little further. The water spotting, this car has had repaints. It has had panels replaced. A previous detailer polished the hood so hard that they had to repaint the hood. Went right through. So knowing that, which I didn't know right immediately at first, I am a little bit leery of, just how hard this thing has been previously painted. It's had, resprays and stuff. You can see the cracking where it's been in accidents and the fiberglass has impact cracks. And if you look at the difference between this paint on the back of the hood and where it goes to here, it doesn't even match in texture, in look. There's a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of crazy water spotting where I've got my overhead light there. And we come over here and it's all smooth, except for those scratches, which I'm going to address somewhat. But, you know, this looks like really poor paint work that was done, and this is nice and smooth. So I've got my work cut out for me. The WSP really didn't touch. You probably pick up in the lighting there. Some pretty serious water spotting. I'm going to just have to make the assumption that it's through and etched into the clear coat. The top of the car still looks a mess. The Sud Factory, which normally does a great job, you can see all of the wiper blade marks because the wiper blades were dirty. Look at that line right there. Kind of went back the wrong way, but you get what I mean. You know, if you stand here and look at it, look at that wiper blade line across the top of the screen. So anyway, I'm just kind of going over, you know, weird marks in the paint. Here this looks like a tape off and somebody sprayed something. Maybe this was during the hood repaint, but whoever has done a fair amount of work on this car is just it's just a mess. There's just a lot going on. I mean, even aside from the big bird poo mark, I've got, and you can probably pick up, you know, a whole bunch of flaws, other marks in the paint. It's just, it's got a lot going on, but that's why I am working on it. That spot there. So, you know, upon seeing this car and, you know, couldn't quite tell, you know, there's some more tape off, just really poor. Look at that line right in the middle there. So I'm going to do the best I can. I am doing a two-step on this car because it needs it, but the aggression of the first step, I don't feel like I can be quite as aggressive as, you know, if this car had never been polished before and I was working with, you know, reasonably good condition paint. You know, that cracking area over there, I've got to be really careful. I painted both the side mirrors, so I've got, you know, 30-day-old, you know, aftermarket paint. Some of this here, although it looks, you know, kind of a mess, my point was just to kind of fill in with the Dr. Colorchip, and then the deeper lines, I use the OEM Cyber Gray Metallic GM paint, right? So, you know, filled in this big scratch. It looks, you know, way better than it did, but, you know, after some polishing. So I'm going to try and go for gloss because we're going to lock it in with the ceramic coating, right? So it's going to be a two-step, but it's going to be on the lighter aggression side of two-step processes. So I've got all the tools set up. I've got my rotary with the 3-inch. I'm going to attack a couple of those spots a little more aggressively and kind of just proceed with caution. do a little bit of hand polishing. I'm going to tape off a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try these two products just on the glass, just to see if I can't do some improvement. And I will tell this client that's really, into some considerable money with me on this job and wants to go full out. But, the polishing of the windshield, that can be done at any time. Probably should be done now. But I think she's, pretty maxed out on this whole project. So, anyway, I am going to, do some aggressive polishing on the bird poop after I'm going to do a little light wet sanding, just see if I can improve that some without going too crazy. And then I'm going to go with orange pads and white pads on the 3-inch for the medium aggression, and the light, really bring the gloss up with the polishing pads. And then I'm going to go orange for my medium aggression and yellow Rupes 5-inch to, again, bring up the gloss. So I've got Jess Car here. After some sanding, I'll use the rotary and polisher on that. And then I like this Griot's Garage Fast Correcting Cream for my medium aggression, and then the Griot's Garage Perfecting Cream. I kind of bounce around between polishes. If you follow me, but they're just some paint types that I get a feel for. I'm going to do some test spots, blah de blah. This is not there's the Rupes Malay. This is not a polishing tutorial or anything like that. But I'm all set up. I've got the room all set up. The AC's going. I'm at 40% humidity, 80 degrees. Turned everything off for your audio quality. So this is just kind of my, set down. Wanted to show you what's going on with the vehicle as far as the paint goes, because last time it was all about what is in my previous video, which I'm putting out on a weekly basis, Saturday or Sunday mornings. And these will all be grouped together. I've got a whole cowl video. Then I've got a whole thing of, pulled the wheels and did all the stuff, all the plastic restoration. And by the way, I will show you that the blackness after 30 days sitting outside, all kinds of storms. We had a hurricane come through, all that. Everything looks great. So that product, the Forever Black from Amazon, and the Solution Finish, the ceramic coating, and the Forever Black did a really nice job on the cowl. Everything looks just about the way it left me 30 days ago. So thanks for being with me. Appreciate all of you. Thanks. Give me a like. Give me a notification bell hit. Boom. And share this with someone you might know, maybe a Corvette lover. And I will see you a little bit later in my progress here. Flip side. Okay, so you don't get the good audio now. I've got the AC and the fans going, but I used a very light amount of 2000 grit sandpaper, hand sanded, went over it with 3000. These 3 spots, I decided to kind of do some free wet sanding, so to speak, because it was just unbearable to look at that and think that these 3 spots that I showed earlier in the video, I was just going to let go. It doesn't look very good there, but so pulling out the rotary, microfiber, just car correcting compound. I'm going to take those things down. It's just going to look better. I just can't let it leave with those areas. And here we come in after the wet sanding with 2000, wet sanding with 3000, lightly. And then just using the rotary on a 3-inch with a Meguiar's microfiber cutting pad. and Jessica correcting cream. So this is approximately where the spot is. This has not been polished yet. This is just me with the rotary. Give you the light. I think it was right in there where the overhead was. Maybe just a very, very light. I think I'm just seeing a smudge on my screen. I can't even see anything. So that was, we'll call it spot one. I've got things taped up on problem areas. I did this spot over the headlamp where the weird tape marks were. I kind of only did it about that spot. I just did the worst of it. Yeah, she's got cracked lenses. I tried to correct them. I made them look better, but yesterday in the rain, she got a bunch of steam built up in there on the headlamps. And then along this spot here, ignore my smudge line here. That's just me wiping and not really wiping very well. But again, this is just wet sanding and rotary, so everything will come out in the wash. Maybe right there was where that big, nasty bug etching was. And, you know, it looks good. A little better lighting there with the Astro Pneumatic 50SL. So, way better, you know, way better where that big, ugly bug mark. Now, you know, is this hood got other defects and stuff? Yeah, but you know, they're minor, they're smaller, they don't jump out at you the way these three areas did. When I did this initial inspection with her, you know, a month and a half ago, I'm like, look, you know, the car's got a lot of problems and really needs a repaint. Got a little bit of that mark over there. I did not wet sand that, but I'll probably polish on that. I just have to keep in mind that I can't use my paint depth gauge, and I cannot, you know, I can't know how deep I'm going. Plus, the hood was repainted and the fender was repainted, and, you know, I've got repair paint areas that I did 30 days ago. So I just gotta, you know, be realistic. I hand polished out the mirrors, behind the mirrors, obviously swung them out, hand polished bunch of tight areas, front of the car, hand polished over my beautiful paint work. I don't know if I'm going to get it a lot better with the machine. I think I will, but it's better than the ugly scratch marks that were there. So, see another one of those areas where it got taped off and sprayed over. It wasn't me when I did the headlights. I don't even want to show you. This headlight isn't so bad because it's not as cracked, but it's still kind of wacky looking. But anyway, I will carry on. Okay, so here's the first stage of my two-step polishing process. I have gone with the orange force pads. You can see my little sand dollar as I prime the pad with just a few very scant thin lines. I'm going with the Griot's Garage fast correcting cream. Don't sleep on Griot's Garage fast correcting cream. It is amazing. I'm doing the follow-up with the Rupes. I should have probably said this is the Lake Country Orange Force pads. I like them because they're very thick, and probably see the thickness side by side there. They're a very thick pad. It allows you to kind of maneuver the pads into some tighter areas. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but I really stocked up on those and like them so much. I've been buying them ever since. This is the Rupes, medium to light. Um, these are both 5-inch pads. I've got it on the Rupes Melee, the direct gear, no stall machine, which I absolutely love. I've got my flamethrower light system on here. And that really brightens up while you're using pad. I think there's 22 cross-cut LEDs. And I'm using the Griot's Garage Perfecting Cream. And I found this when I don't want to really be harsh, as I mentioned earlier, and I referred to the client that this car has been polished within an inch of its life, and I can't check the clear coat and what I'm removing. I'm doing a two-step, but a little different than normal two-step, kind of a medium cut instead of really, harsher, and then trying to get as much gloss as possible and going with the Rupes yellow. So what I've got here, I'll try and find you some good lighting. I'm going to put the light on this in a moment, but I just did this half of the hood as well as this back part by the glass and this part here. So what I've got, and I think it's easiest to show you with the overhead lighting. I was amazed at the Underdog water spot remover that I wasn't able to remove more of the water staining, water spotting. I think this has just been under a tree. It's been too long, not properly maintained. And you can see after polishing, and I did 5 passes with the orange and 5 passes with the yellow. So that's 10 passes on paint that's been severely over polished from a previous detailer, so much that he went through the paint, and I'm in the unknown. So what I'm picking up, I'll put the light, is I'm really going for refining what's left of the clear coat. I want to leave her with clear coat. She's going to hang on to this car for a long time. And we knew that short of a paint job, we weren't going to have perfection. Now, with my lighting right now, I've got my headlamp on. Kind of throws things off. This side, I can really tell a difference. I'm going to bring you to the other side. And even though those deep water spots and marks and just everything from the trees overhead for years dripping onto the car, when you come over to this side, it is pronouncedly, if that's a word, it is much more pronounced. All of these spottings and watermarks. Try and get you a different angle with some different light. When I put the paint correction light on it, they kind of really disappear. Take in that far left corner, and you can see there is a lot more noticeable water spotting on this side of the car. So, have I accomplished my mission? Yeah. Is this going to, leave my shop in perfect condition? No, it's not. And even though it's a two-step, I've got to kind of, regulate the two-step. So this is as good as it's going to be. Try and reach over the car. I can really tell the gloss factor is really nice. Let me find where I am on the camera here. Anyway, it is what it is. This is the step to follow if you find yourself with a car in this kind of shape, especially a Corvette where you can't use the paint depth gauge. That's all you can do. But as I look across this spot, and then I look at this same area, which were equally, degraded in their condition, I can really tell a big difference. So I'm happy. I'm going for gloss here. Once the ceramic coating goes on, it's going to be awesome. And other than that, I've just, gone all around the car. I've, polished all the intricate places. I've hit along all the doors, polished the mirrors, did all around back here in the tight areas, did around here, all with the 3-inch, using, I think it's a CCS 3-inch pad. It's got a nice... they're all in my bucket now, but it's got a nice beveled, angled, cut to the foam pad, and it allows me to get into this really tight edge work, which is raised on this rubber piece, which I've already restored. So I protected everything I needed to protect. I protected some other areas, removed the tape. So I will continue on. All right, so here we are the following morning. It's about 10 a.m. on Saturday. I'm wanting to watch football at noon, Ohio State versus Youngstown State. Should be a slaughter. So anyway, I two-step polished this entire vehicle yesterday, as described earlier in the video. This morning I got up early, dressed out the tires, wiped down the wheels, did a double panel prep, nice and thick. The vehicle came out beautiful, had that big bird poo mark right in the middle, wet sanded 3 areas. You're all caught up. So the thing is looking great. I think I showed you the water spotting maybe on the last part of this video. Some of it came out, some of it didn't. We've got 2 apparent types of paint. Some of the scratches didn't come out. I went at them. And then this morning I just, prepped this thing where I had my tape on these rubber seals that I had used Forever Black in phase 1, which will be real close to this video. I plan on putting them all out within 1 week of each other. Let's not look at the headlights. She got her headlights ordered. She's putting brand new headlights in. And I just want to take a moment too to say this woman is a widow and her husband bought her this car. And she was taking care of this thing meticulously at a time, but has since moved to a townhome, and there's no, area for her to work and do her car maintenance and cleaning and stuff. But she has an eye for things. She's very meticulous. She kind of, I think, felt bad that she let the car kind of parked under a tree at her townhome area, and, it was really needing, which this will end up being about a 30-hour detail. I think my first video that I put out on phase 1 is something like, 30-hour video on a Corvette restoration detail. So anyway, this woman absolutely loves this car. She's emotionally tied to it. Her husband is no longer with us, got this car for her. So anyway, it means a lot to her, and clients like this kind of bring up my desire to, really go all out. So, I redid with Forever Black, the rubber stripping. I did a full acid wash on this. It kind of, hurt and took away some of the Forever Black. When I pulled the tape off, I saw some black come up off on the tape. So, I redid that. Did I need to? No. Did I need to use Q2 ceramic tire dressing? No. Did I need to Rain-X all the glass? Because I really, put it to her, hey, spend, $200 more and I can do rayon pads with CarPro cerium oxide, glass polishing. It's a long process. You can easily spend an hour, hour and a half polishing glass. And these wiper marks, I did some little test spots and they are, seriously in there. But I went ahead and Rain-X'd it just to give her, because I said, for $200, I'll ceramic coat your windshield. I've got it on my cars. It's amazing. But I think she's kind of at her limit. She put new tires on. She had mechanics go over it with a fine-tooth comb. And anyway, this is looking as good as it's going to look. And so I am about to ceramic coat this. So I will give you fair warning that in the next video, I believe, that will be coming up, I'll introduce myself again, because I'm going to do just like kind of a two-part, maybe as I'm putting it down, the DPC, that's Dallas Paint Correction, Scott Bly out there in Texas. What's up, Scott? And I'm going to go ahead and coat, and using the flashback, there's the Q2 tire coating. Love that stuff. You can hit it with a hairdryer or a heat gun, kind of speed up the process. She's not going to pick up for a while. Important to have your lighting. I love these half mitts by Auto Fiber. These are the Auto Saver. They've got the little, plastic insert. Absolutely love using ceramic coatings with those. Here is the Dallas Paint Correction flashback. This is a 3-year flashback. Let me look at this here. 9H, 3-year professional use only focus. So this is my coating holder. I took an orange force pad like I used in the 2-step. I caught a door handle on this a long time ago, a broken door handle. And I put up some little slits in it. And whatever size bottle of coating you need to put in, you're not going to tip it over. You're not going to break it. Wise up. Also, these are my, excuse me while I open the bag. These are my 3 mil. Get a little better shot there with the gray in the background. These are my 3 mil eyedroppers. You can find them on Amazon. And I will load this pad to start out to do my initial application. 3 mils really kind of saturates. I usually just, go from here up. I get the corners and edges real good. I've done this in, previous videos. This is not going to be a tutorial on using ceramic coatings. But anyway, I am just going to get this done. And I just kind of wanted to catch you up with, what I've done. I popped the hood, popped the trunk, popped the doors, made sure, all my polish using the Optimum Paint Technology, OPT, I just call it. And this is their panel prep, right? And I love this stuff. It never has given me any kind of trouble. I wiped this down. I let everything dwell. The glass, it's a great glass cleaner. And then, gave it a couple minutes to sit just to make sure I had all the oils, excuse me while I kind of burp, and get everything off the paint. So it is virgin clear coat. So that's about that. And then, like I said, I'm probably going to come back and, go, hey, this is JJ from, so, there you go. But this thing, comparatively to when it came in, and yes, you can see the non-matching paint because the hood was repainted. So that's the gig, and I thank you. Hey, this is JJ with Deluxe Vehicle Detailing and Paint Correction here in beautiful Bel Air Bluffs, Florida, in the home shop. As you might guess, this video, which is a video within a longer video, on a 30-hour restoration detail on a 2010 Corvette, is about to be laid down with Dallas Paint Correction. That's the DPC, detailing.com, or is it detail.com? It's one of those. And this is a new product of his. It's been out for a few months. This is my first time with it, so I wanted to capture the essence of the goodness. This is a 3-year coating, and if you follow my channel, you know that I love Underdog for the long flash times. You can just get a lot done quickly before you have to worry about buffing. I'm using Pearl from the Rag Company for the first wipe, and I will catch with the second wipe, the Aqualux by Landon Crawford. These are the Swiss towels. They're amazing. Also, you have probably seen before, if you follow my channel, the coating holder. So I cut some slits in an orange force pad, nice and thick, right? There's my finger for, yeah, they're thick. And this is a 3 mil disposable eyedropper that I picked up on Amazon. And they are amazing, as you can measure instead of just blindly pouring out of the little stopper there. You can actually measure the amount. I think that's smart. So I'll do 3 mils and get this pad from about here. I should probably show you. Probably here up. Make sure you get all the edges and the corners. These little auto fiber half mitts really do a great job. They have a liner inside, and I love them because they reach into tight spaces. And after I get done coating with them, they become tire dressing applicators. Get down on the edges of the tires, like down there. That is Q2 ceramic tire coating. And this car is all prepped and ready to go, and I am ready to show you me laying it out. I just pulled the little plastic stopper out. Let's get a nice big full pull here. It's about 2.5, and I just nicely disperse, and I have complete control of how much product is going on the Auto Fiber half mitt. I think it's Auto Fiber Auto Saver half mitt by the company Auto Fiber. Like I said, I only go about that far down. Get it all nicely dispersed. I was missing about a half. Even things out here. This loading on the first one, I usually do about 1.5 or 2 as I'm going, as I, see that it's getting a little thinner. Sorry, that's kind of taking a while here, but I like to make sure it's spread out nicely. Get your cap back on. make sure it's tight. Okay. So, I've got this Echo Show, which can run multiple timers. Now, when I'm doing coatings and I'm running multiple timers, I'm actually going to start with the top. You know, that's all well and fine. But with this coating, underdog is usually about 10 minutes. You can see the line there. There's the line. So, show you again, get nice and tight to the edge. And you can see the coating go on. This is a cyber gray metallic, so it's a little difficult to see, but I'm sure you can see right there. And this is not necessarily a coating tutorial, as I am only going to show you just this one little spot between these two character lines right here, and then I'm going to get to work. So you can see, hopefully see, excuse me while I grab better lighting for you. So you can see here that, you know, there's a little bit of micro beading. Here's without, here's with. You can kind of see that in the overhead lighting, maybe better. You know, it's liquid on car paint. It's not that exciting. But the great thing about this new flashback is the flash is back in time. So I'm going to go ahead and start coating this, and I am in 75.2 degrees with 40% humidity, which is beautiful. You can see it's 81 degrees already outside at 10 o'clock here in West Central Florida. So I'm going to coat this, and I'm going to go for coating half the vehicle. I think I'm going to go from the door forward and you know, probably catch that top part and see how fast I can do it and coat it. And then the buff off is just going to be as I described. It's going to be, you know, buff off with one and follow up with the other. So I thank you for checking in on me, and I will be back with you at some point. All right, here we are at about the 28-minute mark. I have had the fan in front of the air conditioner dehumidifier heater going, and the fan that I have a filter in front of. It's a 20 by 20, filters the air. I've had this thing running for 3 days, dust-free environment. Got it on a switch. I can turn off all my fans, so the audio is a little better, but I'm not turning off the AC. Anyway, as I left you, I was applying this to the middle portion. I'm going to give you some angles here. Look at the kind of a rainbowy as it goes on. I'm going to take you on the first part here. We're probably at the 29-minute mark, which is just crazy long. As I said, I coated everything along this, everything along the door, whole bottom area there, all along the fender. You can get some nice flash shots here. This would probably be, I don't know, maybe the 20-minute mark. As I was coming around, I set the timer for 25, shut it off just a couple minutes ago. This is a little fresher, so this is only like, I just put this on, you know, probably 10 minutes ago. Yeah, there on the white wall, you've got the beautiful rainbow, right? This is a 10-minute minimum coating. You can be mobile. You can do this outside in high heat, high humidity, high ambient temperatures, and you can do it even in the sun, even if the panels are warm, not hot, warm. Not quite sure what the definition of warm is. So this was the last panel I did. See if we can get along that white wall. I can see right under the mirror there. Take away the lighting. See the rainbowing? You can see my last wipe. I wiped in a diagonal. Got around the mirror there, so it's kind of a weird pattern. I went right over the plastic here on the handles, which I had put the Forever Black on, which I did a video on this car's cowl when I had it 30 days ago. I did extensive rock chip fill-in paint. So in my eyes, probably hard to see, you know, there, but you can see some nice rainbow goodness along there. Look into the white wall. I did a crosshatch pattern as I always do. There's some nice rainbow on that fender you can see, but I still think they're really the best. I went, you know, up and down, back and forth, crosshatch, beautiful rainbow goodness. So, now, on the hood, which is now approaching, say, half hour, I can still see what I would call just some streakiness. This product didn't really bead or sweat as some do, but according to the owner, I mean, you can like pretty much do the whole car. I'm wearing my headlamp, and I hope I didn't blind you. I'm going to turn it off just so that the shadow of the phone / camera, which you should be able to pick up. I know I've got a lot of weird things in the background, but it's pretty evident. It's pretty easy to see, and I'm just going to take you can see my last wipe. We're going this way, and I have some going this way, and then my last wipe was along this seal that way. So anyway, let's do this. It's supposed to be the easiest wipe off ever. Shoddy camera work once again. So it's really smooth, and as I am looking at the not as distinctive rainbows, I'll be interested to see. Oh yeah, there's some pretty good rainbowing still right there on that other half of this piece. See with my eyes, it's hard to pick up on camera, but it is not grabby. It is not giving me any kind of resistance at all. I really don't feel like I'm, you know, picking up a coating. I went real heavy with this application. I have learned to go heavy as I'm doing more and more coatings. If any of you saw this smudge mark on the glass, that's my Rain-X right there, where somehow in my final wipe after 2 applications, like you're supposed to, I missed a spot. I've got a high spot, but with Rain-X you don't. So anyway, that's really about it. That's my report. This is, 30 plus minutes. I'm going to kind of slowly work my way back around so that I know I have enough time. I'm going to kind of wipe it in the order and how long it would take me. So I'm going to give the full thing, if it's a 10-minute minimum, I want 20 minutes minimum. I want this thing to really bond. I'm sure 10 minutes is, fine and well, but man, it's really slick. I'm sure the gloss level will be crazy once I pull it outside. And yeah, that's flashback for you. So, on the short 2-part version of flashback, which I'll be posting on Dallas Paint Corrections Facebook page, that's going to be it. For the rest of you, hang in for the rest, because, it's been a lot going on here. And anybody, from the short version, thank you. Give me a thumbs up. It helps my analytics, helps the channel grow. I'm over 1,000 now. I'm gaining some steam. So help a brother out. Leave a comment. Do a share. Do stuff that'll help me out. And I'll continue making great videos. For the rest of you, hanging in for the long version, I'll be back with you. Thank you very much. Enjoy making your vehicles beautiful. Hey, so here's the wrap-up video. The client is going to be here in about an hour. And I had a little, off to the east there, I had a little storm cell I was watching with some thunder. No rain here, but definitely typical Florida afternoon. What is this, September 9th, I believe. So there's 2 parts to this video. If you've watched the small part or watched the long version, you got it all. But this was a 30-hour restoration detail, wheels off, fixed a bunch of things. That's my neighbor. Everybody's good in the hood here. Pulled the wheels off, painted the caps on the rotors, used a 1200 degree, paint, got those because this was all rusty. If you've, just watched the whole thing, you followed along. I did a 2-step, kind of a medium step and a light step instead of an aggressive step and a, light medium step. Just because of, and as I have documented in this video, just a lot of things like this paint, where she had an impact and the fiberglass cracked, fiberglass cracked from the impact. Another detailer polished this thing, and they had to repaint the hood because he went right through. So I knew it had been hard polished, and I had to be careful. There is still some water spotting. I know with my trees there to the west, down to the Gulf of Mexico, hard to see. But again, if you've watched the whole thing, there's just like crazy things going on with this paint. All kinds of panels don't match. I tried to, take out scratches, but they're just too deep, and I didn't want to take it too far. I did really, really like using Dallas Paint Correction Flashback 3-year long flash time, and I even pushed it. It's a 10-minute minimum, and right out of the gate, I did everything from the front doors, the fenders, the hood, the top, and the entire front of the car. And it was about 35 minutes when I shot that earlier video. And then I let the back go about 25, 30 minutes. Of course, I was in, controlled 74 degrees, 35 or 40% humidity. My AC unit and my hard work of insulating things has really paid off. Pretty hot day here. It's about 90. So anyway, yeah, I can't say enough good stuff about my first experience with Flashback. It was just, I used the two towels that I showed you before, and really the first towel, it wasn't grabby. You know, some coatings out there, as they get kind of, you know, a little past their flash time, or, you know, the buff off time, or the working time, or, you know, however you want to term it, you know, they can get kind of sticky, they can get kind of grabby. I let this thing go 35 minutes in controlled environment, and it was like wiping off, as if you had, I don't know, put a layer of butter, you know, on the car, but it wasn't smeary and oily like that. It just wiped right off, and it was really, really pleasant to work with. I love, you know, another company in Texas that I mentioned earlier that, you know, they've got long working times, like, you know, with me and the heat and stuff, you know, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, maybe 12 minutes. You know, I keep my Alexa Echo Show busy with keeping all the timers, and I do a panel or two, and I'm going back and forth. This one, you know, a little more than half the car in 25 minutes. Buffed it off, as I showed you on the top before, but everything was just silky smooth. I don't even know if I needed two towels, but, you know, I did a kind of, you know, thinner pearl from the rag company to do the major thing on the buff, and then I did the Swiss from Aqualux, from Landon Crawford's business, Aqualux Detailing, and, you know, that really wasn't picking up anything. I was just making sure of high spots and, you know, parts between panels, if I had, you know, gotten the fender, and then, you know, I want to make sure if I overstepped a little bit, you know, wipe down the panel next to it with the Swiss. But really, it was super easy. I did the plastics on this door handle. I had put the Forever Black on here, and I went ahead, I was being careful, and then I'm like, you know, I'm going to try it. What the heck? Wiped it. Those look great. Everything looks amazing. I'll take you back here on this plastic on the, you know, diffuser. I used the Flashback and coated this 30 days ago. I had coated in the Forever Black, and I really liked the effect. And so I was like, no, I'm back here. I'm going to go ahead and try coating it. Coated it, did not level it at all, didn't buff, anything like that, and looks great. I actually coated the exhaust pipes. Yeah, the heat will probably kill it, but, you know, it made them look great as I was doing these. Did everything just fine, you know, got all around the emblems. Did this black piece. When I first saw this car, this thing was faded out, and I recoated it probably an hour or two before I used the Flashback, and the sun is setting. Oh, excuse me. The sun is setting on this side of the world here, but look at that gloss, and now that black is locked in with the ceramic coating. So there's a longer video, a long version and a short version of my cowl restoration on this car. And I actually wasn't happy with Solution Finish, which I normally have. And I ceramic coated it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to Forever Black it and kind of blended it in. Still looking good after 30 days. Not like super great, but by and large, the Forever Black. Check it out on Amazon, man. That's some good stuff. Ooh, I see a little. Yeah, it was probably just the Rain-X. Went ahead and did a few extra things. You know, client's awesome. So, anyway, here we are. This is the wrap up. Appreciate all of you. And give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a share, give me, there's a pretty quick thumb there. give me, some comments. If you've got anything at all, you can always contact me, reach out, and I'd be happy to help you out however I can. So I'll give you one last shot of after polishing, after, it's going to be kind of hard to see. So that looks like a nightmare in my viewer. This is a combination of the paint, AC Delco, factory, cyber gray metallic, and Dr Colorchip. And it's a metallic, so it's always hard to match, right? But although this to me in this, lighting and through the finder looks terrible, this was all completely scratched up, and I have a long play video that shows all of that. So I was just trying to, really kind of smear the Dr. Colorchip, if you've ever worked with it, and just cover all the gray from the plastic, because this is a plastic piece. And, sometimes you just have to do the best you can with what you've got. I mean, all the paint was missing and everything. And really, comparatively to how it looked when you stand back here, it's off colored, but it looks amazing. So props to Dr. Colorchip and AC Delco from, I believe, Amazon. Anyway, this is a wrap on this. I am happy to be done with this vehicle. It's a long project, and again, appreciate all of you. Thanks a lot. Enjoy making your vehicles beautiful.